I asked you guys who you guys wanted for the first Madden 25 rebuild of the year, and you guys voted on my community post for the Denver Broncos, and that is who I'm going to give you for the first rebuild for Madden 25 on the channel. Now, I did go ahead and set it up to where we are the current record of the Denver Broncos at 0-2. I tried using the Madden weekly, whatever it's exactly called, and it just wasn't updated, so I had to go in manually and just force loss every single game, and I did that for every single team, so all the records are up to date. But here we are. I've been waiting to drop this video. I didn't know exactly what team I wanted to go with for my first rebuild in Madden 25, but I do know I have a lot of Broncos fans that tune into the channel, and you guys gladly voted for it, and you guys wanted the Broncos, so I'm going to go ahead and give you it. And we don't have to worry about quarterback at all during this rebuild because we have the quarterback of the future, Bo Nix from Oregon. So at least we have that off our belt. We have the cornerstone of the franchise, Bo Nix, up front, playing quarterback. You know, we have Zach Wilson backing him up with Jared Stidham, two guys who probably won't be here after their contract unless we want to sign them as backups. But Bo Nix is 100% the quarterback of the future, no matter if he throws 50 interceptions and year one. I really don't mind it. But, you know, if there's a point where Bo Nix is not getting it done after a couple of years, obviously, you know, we'll try to replace him, but I really don't want to do that. I want that to be the backup option. And at running back, we have Javonte Williams here too, who is a little bit injury prone. He's been hurt twice in his career. Hopefully we can turn that around. And I'm pretty excited about this guy, Aldrick Estimane, a dog from Notre Dame. I know he looked pretty good in the preseason. I'm not too sure if he's playing too much for the Broncos in the regular season, but this dude was a dog at Notre Dame. He was a great running back, great power back, and I'm excited to use him. He's only 20 years old. I'm very excited to use him in this rebuild. You know, probably get him at some reps as running back 2. Or, you know, even if we wanted to, we can put him at running back 1 now and just let Javonte back up. But I think for now, we'll let Javonte start year number 1. And wide receivers, for some reason, we only have 5 on the roster. We have Courtland Sutton, Josh Reynolds, Marvin Mims Jr., Troy Franklin, and Donovan Velli. Now, with Courtland Sutton, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with him yet. I mean, we could go ahead and trade him. He's 28 years old at only an 84 overall, and it's probably just going to go down from here after this season. You know, we are paying him a little bit of money. I don't mind paying him the money. It's just the regression is going to really kill us if we can get some value for him while we can. And then Marvin Mims Jr., I'm pretty excited about this guy. 92 speed, 94 excel, and 88 agility. He's going to be either a slot receiver or he's going to be somewhere at the 2 spot. I'm probably going to be in the slot. And then Troy Franklin, the rookie that the Broncos drafted this year, another guy I'm excited for. I think our receiving core is actually pretty exciting with Courtland Sutton, Marvin Mims, and Troy Franklin. Not too sure if we're going to play Josh Reynolds too much during this sim, or at least for the first season, because I do want to get Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin as much as we can as playing time wise, because, you know, if we do start Josh Reynolds, that's going to affect one of these 2 guys here, and I don't want that to happen. And then at tight end, we have Adam Troutman and Greg Dulcich. Greg Dulcich actually has star dev, so that's going to be, you know, I know he has star dev, but he's a 72 overall right now, 24 years old. I mean, we could obviously develop him, but not too sure how high we can get him. Probably like to an 82, so, you know, if we do want to go in a route to get a different tight end, we can definitely do that. Offensive line's pretty solid. We have Garrett Bowles, who's getting up there in age. I believe he's 32. Ben Powers, Luke Wattenberg, Quinn Mears, and Mike McGlinchey. You know, I believe that the offensive line's pretty solid. They are pretty much all of them up there in age. Garrett Bowles is 32. Ben Powers, I believe, is like 30, 31. Quinn Mears might be like 28, and Mike McGlinchey is 100% over 32. So we're going to have to definitely draft some offensive linemen, sit back for a year, or, you know, we'll see what happens, but definitely have to draft someone on that offensive line. And then on defense, we have the cornerstone Pat Surtain at a 96 overall. He's going to be here probably for the whole simulation. I mean, we could obviously trade him and get a boatload of picks, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep Pat Surtain on this roster, see if we win a Super Bowl with him. You know, I know for a fact we can get a bunch of firsts, probably like 3 firsts for Pat Surtain. I'm just probably not going to do it for now, although it would be the best like scenario for us to do it because we're not going to win within the next couple years, but we'll see what happens down the line. We have Brandon Jones at safety at a 77 overall, Alex Singleton at linebacker at a 77, Cody Barton at a 78, Brandon Browning at a 76, PJ Lockett at a 71, Levi Wallace is out there at corner as well as a 76. Then we have Riley Moss at a 71 overall. Defensive line is pretty meh. We have JFM, Jonathan Franklin Myers with DJ Jones and Zach Allen. I think Zach Allen's one of the most underrated defensive ends in the NFL. I believe he's like 28, 29, so we will have him at least for a couple seasons because the defensive linemen don't really regress until they're like 32, 33 around there. But that is our team. That's the defense. If you guys do want to see the special teams, obviously we have one of the best kickers in the NFL in Will Lutz and Riley Dixon punting the football. So how we're going to do this is we're going to sim to the midseason mark. We're going to see how we're looking. You know, if we're not looking too good, definitely try to trade away some pieces, try to get some draft picks, some capital for them. But we're going to sim to the midseason mark and just see kind of where we're at and just go over it. All right, so at the midseason mark, we are 2-6. So I'm not too sure what we could do here. We lost to the Panthers 9-6 last week. No touchdowns even put up, assuming we didn't score a touchdown. What we are going to try to do here, though, is trade some of the players that are not going to be returning next season. I know we have to extend some contracts, and, you know, maybe if there's players here that we don't want to bring back, we can obviously get rid of them now and just get something for them instead of just letting them, you know, leave in free agency. Like I said, the goal was to lift off some players that are not going to be returning next year, and Levi Wallace is not going to be here next year. We're sending him to Tampa at the midseason mark for a 3rd round pick this year, just to kind of add some more draft capital to where we're not really worried about, you know, positions in need. We have a ton of draft capital if we can just continue to do this. But for now, Levi Wallace for a 3rd, I'll take it. He's 29 years old, 76 overall, going to start regressing soon, so we're going to get some value for him now. Like I said, the goal was to kind of trade away these players just to pick up some draft capital, and we're going to do that again. We're going to send away 29-year-old DJ Jones at 76 overall to the Bears for a 3rd round pick this year as well. So now we had 2 3rd round picks at the midseason mark. I think that'll very much benefit our help on our behalf, at least, because now we added 2 3rd round picks. That's 2 more players we can grab in an early round. And, you know, my kind of goal with this is to, you know, build this team around draft picks, because trading wise, I don't really want to send away too many of our picks to, you know, pick players up in general. I think eventually when we're a good team, I'm okay with doing that, but for now I think just trading away these older guys, just kind of picking up some value for them while we can, because they're going to leave. And, you know, my kind of goal with Garrett Bowles here is not to trade him. I know he's 32, but I'd like to bring him back for at least 2 more years. The linemen are different with regression. They don't really start regressing or hitting the, you know, regression box until like 33, 34. So I think we can get at least 2 more good years out of Garrett Bowles if he doesn't decide to retire. And I definitely want to bring him back because he's our best player, or one of our best players on that offensive line. So overall, not really what we wanted for year number 1, but this was kind of coming out of expectation. We finished with a 3-14 record, and hey, I'm totally fine with it for right now, because now we probably just landed the number 1 overall pick, and that basically gives us room to draft any player we want in this upcoming draft, and we did. We have the 1st overall pick and the 1st pick in the 2nd. You know, I'm fine with this. Year number 1 was pretty much a tank year. I'm cool with it. Now we go into the draft with the number 1 overall pick. We can, you know, if we want, trade down from there or trade the pick away to pick up even more value. You know, we'll see what happens in that draft. I'm pretty excited for it. I did add the 2025 draft class, and Bo Nix now down to his 68 overall with morale. It's funny because at the beginning of this video, I said I don't care if Bo Nix throws 50 interceptions, he's still going to be the quarterback 1, and it was kind of similar to what I said. He didn't throw 50, he basically cut it in half through 24, 3,200 yards with 21 touchdowns and 24 picks with a 59% completion percentage. Definitely not a good year from Bo Nix, but like I said, year number 1 was just kind of a, you know, development phase here for us. Javonte Williams on the ground had 5 touchdowns with almost 800 yards, and Bo Nix 300 yards with 3 touchdowns. But now it's time to go ahead and re-sign our players, try to figure out who we want to bring back next year. And, you know, there's some guys here that we probably won't want to bring back, but we have 106 million in cap space, and I definitely want to spend that this offseason. At some point, you know, 106 million, that can get us a lot of good players, or even depth on the roster if we don't want to spend it all going into year number 2. But, you know, Zach Wilson, I am pretty interested in bringing him in. Kind of like a 2-year, $4.7 million deal, and he's going to come back, so that's great to see. We have our backup quarterback. And then Javonte Williams just doesn't want to re-sign, so he's going to go ahead and test free agency. He's not worth the franchise tag, so we'll try to bring him back in free agency. Definitely not going to, you know, franchise tag him, because that's going to pay him probably the best or top 3 back in the league. So a lot of guys just weren't interested in re-signing. I offered them more money than they even wanted, and a lot of guys just didn't want to sign with us, and I totally understand it. We went 3 wins in 1 season, so, you know, you can't really blame them. But we are bringing back Garrett Bowles for a 2-year, $29 million deal, and Brandon Browning to a 4-year, $32 million deal, and then Jaquan McMillan for a 2-year, basically $3 million AAV for 2 years. You know, I'm cool with this. We bring back the 4 guys that I really wanted to bring back. Most importantly, I did want to bring back Javonte Williams as well, but he just didn't want to sign, and that franchise tag's like $15 million, so we'll try to bring him back in free agency. And you know what I'm kind of trying to do now is I really didn't want to do it, but Courtland Sutton at some point is going to have to go. He's already down 2 overall points after 1 season, and he is 29, so I do want to try to get some value for him now, and we could definitely replace that number 1 spot at wide receiver, because we have a ton of money in the offseason. This is also going to free up a lot of cap if we can get him sent away. You know, a 2nd round pick for him, I'm okay with it. I'm totally fine with it. A 2nd round pick for a 29-year-old receiver. Looks like they're going to want a little bit more as well, and I really didn't want to do this. I didn't want to give up any picks this year, and they're still not accepting it even with a 6th round pick. But we did go ahead and get it done. We're going to get a 2nd round pick, and we're sending away Donovan Knight, Courtland Sutton, and a 6th this year. So, you know, once again, I know this may hurt the Broncos fans by doing this, but I think this is for our best bet at this point. Courtland Sutton's already 29. He's going to start regressing even more. He's already down 2 overall points after 1 season, and we did get a second-round pick for him. We have $90 million in cap this offseason. So, you know, I think you guys got to trust the GM, Tyler Michael. I'm telling you, we're going to get a Super Bowl here in Denver. We're going to get it done. And, you know, kind of just looking at free agency, there's not too many good guys here for year number 1. And like I said, I did want to replace Courtland Sutton, but, you know, bringing in a guy like Amari Cooper is basically just bringing back Courtland Sutton, only 3 overalls higher. And I don't really see a point in doing it. He's older than Sutton. We just traded Sutton away. I think for now we just, you know, kind of build around the draft and just pick a wide receiver there because, you know, this free agency isn't really looking too good. I did go ahead and offer Javonte Williams a deal. I was at the top of his list and he just didn't want to sign. He's going to the Cardinals and that's kind of sucky to see. I really wanted to bring him back. And now we have a hole at running back and we have a hole at wide receiver. And I know slowly it's looking like we're just tearing this team apart, but it's going to take time. I'm telling you guys. We're going to build a Super Bowl team in Denver. We just lost Javonte and then we lost Courtland Sutton by a trade. You know, at some point we have to try to build this team up and now we have to replace that running back spot. So after the second evolve period, we did go ahead and land 4 new players. We're going to sign Rondale Moore to a 4-year, $37 million deal, which I really like it. He's kind of young right now. He's only 25. We still have room for improvement. We also bring in BSJ, Benjamin St-Juste, for a 3-year, $23 million deal, and then just kind of a 2-year gap here. I think we try to find our running back at the future in the draft. We are going to bring in Alexander Madison on a 2-year, $10 million deal, and then David Andrews just for a 1-year kind of backup deal. He's 33. He's also a mentor, so this would be great for the rest of our linemen. Now we also go ahead and sign Tear Tart on a 2-year deal as well, so we bring in that defensive tackle spot, only a 74 overall, but it's just going to kind of be a 2-year or 1-year fill gap just for now, because there's not a ton of good players in this free agency. We also bring in Travis Gibson on a 3-year deal, so he'll be here a little bit. He'll be kind of our edge guy for 3 years. He's 28 right now, and then Jacob Martin is just kind of a depth piece. The same thing with Travis Gibson, just kind of sub in and sub out on a 1-year deal. So that's pretty much going to be it for our free agency for the first season. Not a ton of good players, but once again, there wasn't really a ton of good players to land. You know, Ryan Kelly would have been a good one. We needed a center, but I tried offering him. He just didn't want to come here. Amari Cooper wouldn't make sense, but he went to the Raiders anyway. Jamal Adams to the Texans, and then we could have even brought in Jalen Warren if I wanted to offer him the first week. I find it pretty weird, unless I'm just totally wrong. I thought we had the first overall pick, but I guess not. I guess we have the second overall pick, and the draft is underway with the Cardinals picking number 1. And they select James Pierce. They select right end James Pierce, so now it's our time to hop on the clock. And who are we going to select with the second overall pick? Could be Luther Burton. We could definitely upgrade the defense at cornerback. Denzel Burke, pair another guy up with Pat Surtain. We could go with Christian Judkins, one of the fastest elusive backs in college football. Could go even tight end. Like I said, I wanted to upgrade that position. Could go Travis Hunter. Could go Will Johnson. Could go Kevin Winston. But once again, I'm doing this in the best way possible to upgrade this Broncos team. And I know most of you probably want Luther Burton right now. I'm not going to go Luther Burton. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to pick the future of our franchise. Pair him up with Bo Nix. We're going to go ahead and take Christian Judkins out of Ohio State. And this dude is a straight dog. I promise you guys, this is going to be the right pick here. We could have went Luther Burton, got our receiver 1, but we just lost Javonte Williams. I know we have Audric Estime in the backfield, but for now, this is going to be, and that does not look like him at all. I'm not entirely sure if that's even appropriate for his build. That looks nothing like Christian Judkins, but he's a Denver Bronco. That's what's most important. Excellent pick. He was ranked number 1 in true value. We drafted him at number 2. Scouting report, slick feet, explosive juke move. That's exactly what we want at running back. Now we get our running back in the future. So Javonte Williams is gone. We had Christian Judkins. And now with our next pick, we're going to go ahead and take Spencer Russell. He's definitely not going to be the wide receiver 1, but we need another wide receiver to pair up with Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims. So we're going to add Spencer Russell just to be that wide receiver 4 guy for now. You know, we did sign Rondale Moore. So, you know, this is a pretty valued pick. You know, he was ranked 61 in true value. We drafted him at 41. I'll take it though. He has 92 speed, 90 jumping, 90 agility, and hidden dev. I like that. That's what I like to see. So here is the recap of our draft. Obviously, Christian Judkins at number 2. He only has 89 speed, but this is what I'm excited for. 94 excel, 88 agility, 87 carrying, 87 ball carrier vision, 96 juke move, 87 spin. That is the most elusive back we could have taken. I'm just happy we got that out the way. Yeah, we could have went with our wide receiver 1, but I don't see a point of taking that with the second overall pick. If we just signed Rondale Moore, I think he can, you know, kind of fill the gap for now. Then we took Kevin Winston in the second round, and then Spencer Russell, who's a 73 overall, the wide receiver we took in the second round as well. And then Brian Cook at left guard with the second pick in the third round, 74 overall. Trumaine Bryant at a 70 overall. Quandro Cross at a 70, and then we took a center. We needed one. We had no other choice. We only have David Andrews. Marvin Dickens at a 66, and then Shelton Swinston at right guard. Kind of just trying to fill up those gaps. Like I said, we needed those young guys on the offensive line just to kind of sit back for a season. But this is what our team's looking like going into year number 2. And I'll be completely honest, we look a lot better. Bo Nix now up to a 77. We have Judkins in the backfield with Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, and Ronzel Moore. Still have Josh Reynolds. We have our hidden dev wide receiver we drafted in the second round. We signed Alexander Mattson to kind of fill a hole here just to have a power back. We still have Audric Estime too. I do want to get him reps this season. That's kind of the goal. Offensive line, I think it looks kind of the same. I'll be completely honest. I think Quinn Mewers went up a little bit. Tight end's still a problem though. I think we're going to start Dolch this year. I don't really see a reason for going in the Troutman area. I think we start Dolch, a lot younger and he has better dev, but the offense looks a lot more powerful than it did last year. Defense, we somewhat kind of upgraded, I'd say. We added Tier Tart. Zach Allen's up to superstar dev now. We had BSJ and then KAD. Abrams Durain is now a star dev with 78 if he wasn't started already. We also signed Nick McLeod. And then our safety we drafted, Winston Jr., 74 overall. Linebacking core, it's kind of meh, I mean, I wish we could have improved in that area, but just there was not really too many good players in that free agency class. Brandon Jones still earned up to a 79. And we did go ahead and add Ryan Stonehouse at punter. We landed one of the best punters in the league, the best power in the game. But not going to lie, going into this next year, I am kind of excited. I think we can do a lot better than we did last year with only 3 wins. I'd assume that we get at least anywhere from 5 to 7. That's kind of the goal here. But it's time just to take a peek at what this team's looking like. And we did not make the playoffs, but I will say we had a phenomenal season. This is definitely an upgrade from what we did last year. We finished with an 8-9 record. I'll take that. I will 100% take that out of everything we did last year, only winning 3 games. The Broncos are moving in different style. 8 wins, we weren't positive, but 8 wins is 8 wins. I'll take it at the end of the day, especially after last season. Bo Nix still throwing a ton of interceptions, 3.9K with 25 touchdowns, 22 picks, and a 63% completion percentage. Bo Nix definitely has to somewhat fix that interception problem because if he can't fix that, we don't have our quarterback, and we definitely need him to fix that if we do want to have our quarterback, so I'm not really looking to go in a different direction. But Christian Judkins, in his first season, he has 800 yards and 10 touchdowns, only fumbled once with 54 broken tackles. He's a dog. I'm so happy we got him at number 2. I think that was the best pick we could have made. Bo Nix also ran in for 2 touchdowns, and it looks like Audric Estime only had 8 carries for 12 yards and a touchdown. Still an upgrade from last season. I do want to, get him in the game plan at some point. I think Jaleel McLaughlin and Alex Mattson, they just kind of, stealing his reps. If we just had Audric Estime back there, he would have got like 40 carries. Receiving those, Marvin Mims with 79 catches, 919 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Ronzel Moore with 56, 730, and 2 touchdowns. Josh Reynolds, I'm not sure why he's playing. He's like the wide receiver 4. 51 catches, 712 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Greg Dolch with a great year with 61 catches, 632 yards, and 3. Troy Franklin, who's our wide receiver 1, not sure why he's not getting a bunch of targets, with only 34 catches, 396 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Then Christian Judkins with 32 catches, 309 yards, and 1 touchdown. So Judkins pretty much had 1,200 yards in all total yards. So, we'll take that. Good year from Judkins. Offensive line doesn't really look too good. We just brought back Garrett Bowles, and he's allowing 13 sacks. On the defense, though, we just re-signed Baron Browning, and he gets 13.5 sacks with an interception. JFM gets 6.5 sacks. Allen gets 4. And then 3 picks for Pat Surtain, 2 for Drew Sanders, 1 for Chris Abrams-Durain, 1 for Baron Browning, 1 for Brandon Jones, 1 for PJ Lockie, 1 for Kevin Winston, our rookie, 1 for Benjamin St. Juste, and 1 for Nick Panino. And then kicking the ball, Will Lutz only 74%. On field goals, Ryan Stonehouse, we punted the ball 45 times this year. But, like I said, I'll take it. I think that this is definitely an upgrade from last year, because last year we were just not good at all. I don't think we really had what it took to win games. That roster was just kind of meh. But I am happy that we were able to at least get 8 wins this year. I'll take it. Christian Judkins already up to an 87 overall without morale in his first season, and he has superstar dev, so that is phenomenal to see. We have a running back of the future. That's really, really wanted. With that pick at number 2, like I said, and I'm just keep going over it, we could have went with Luther Burton, and I just wanted to go running back there. I didn't really see a need for that, and I'm so happy we picked a running back. Christian Judkins is just a straight dog, and he's going to be here for hopefully his whole career. So on the re-sign phase, here are the guys guys, we did go ahead and bring back. We brought back Zach Allen on a 4-year, $56 million deal, who's now an X Factor. Adam Troutman to a 3-year, $20 million deal. We tried to bring back Greg Dolch. He just didn't want to sign, and I just wanted to bring back Adam Troutman just for a backup role. We bring back Malcolm Roach on a 1-year, $9 million deal. We bring back PJ Lockie on a 2-year, $9 million deal. And then we also bring back Will Lutz, who's 32, on a 3-year, $13.5 million deal. And wow, we probably just had the best free agency in Denver Broncos history. We add Zach Martin on a 2-year, $59 million deal. And then this is where it gets crazy. Mark Andrews, I know he's 30 years old, but I threw him a bag. He was not interested in us at all. And that's all I had to do was just offer him a bag, and that's exactly what I did. I think this is honestly the best move that I could have made. And let me kind of just explain why. If this deal does not work out, we can restructure his contract, which I'm hoping it does work out. Just restructure his contract. We can free up about $20 million a year. That's why I kind of offered him more, because we can always restructure. We also bring back JFM, and I'm really excited about this Mark Andrews deal, because now we have that tight end 1 spot. We also add AJ Jackson. I'm happy with it. We're also kind of having a little battle here with the Cardinals for Joe Thuney. You know, we could back out of this offer and just save money, and I think that's kind of what we're going to do here. I don't see a reason for going after another lineman, and yeah, that saves a ton of money, and that gives us more room to go after more players. And you know, just kind of looking at this offense now, this looks absolutely phenomenal. We have Judkins, Bo Nix, Marvin Mims, Rondell, Troy Franklin. Then at tight end, we have Mark Andrews. We add Zach Martin as well and AJ Jackson. This line looks a lot better. We definitely need a center. I think we move Cook to center. I think that's probably our best bet. And then, you know, look at the line now. It looks a lot better. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm just so excited that we landed Mark Andrews. Now we have Bo Nix, another vertical threat. Hopefully he just doesn't throw over 20 interceptions again. The defense looks pretty good as well. I think we need to go after a defensive tackle. That's kind of the main goal here. And at least some linebackers, because the linebacking core is not looking too good right now. So what we did go ahead and do is trade a 2nd-round pick to the Commanders for Jerzon Newton, defensive tackle. He's a 79 overall. Like I said, we need to upgrade that defensive tackle spot, and that's exactly what we did. And now we have $27 million now to work with as well. Let's see who else we can add to the roster. So we did go ahead and add Terrell Bernard at linebacker at a 79 overall, only 27. So I think this offseason could definitely start putting us in playoff contention now, and I'm not sure why it only says we have 300K. Okay, yeah, we have around 12 million, a little bit over. We have 18 million right now to spend. And I think we definitely need to add an outside linebacker, because I know we are kind of weak over there. And then for the final signing of the free agency, we are going to bring in KJ Britt at linebacker, just kind of another depth move here at a 73 overall. You know, this offseason is probably the best offseason we could have hoped for. We land Mark Andrews and Zach Martin. Zach Martin's probably going to retire after his deal, but that gives us 2 seasons right there before at least Andrews starts to regress and Martin decides to retire to kind of compete. We had the 2 best players in free agency. Now we have a little over 3 million left in cap. So after getting rid of some unnecessary contracts, we do now have 15 million going into the draft. So after signing all those guys, you know, I'm excited for it. I think we're going to look good this year, but it's time to figure out who we're going to be drafting at pick 12. We're going to be selecting Christian Joseph at pick number 12, an outside linebacker who is ranked number 39 in true value. We drafted him at 12, so not really entirely amazing, but he does have hidden dev, 82 speed, 82 strength, 87 excel, 79 agility. I'm cool with it. We drafted another edge guy that we can put on the outside. That's kind of what we needed. I feel like we needed something in that area, and for some reason Madden thinks our weakest position is tight end when we have probably the 2nd best tight end in the game. So here's the recap of our draft. The linebacker Christian Joseph we drafted at pick 12 is a 74 overall with hidden dev. We also drafted George Thomas at left end, who is a 68 overall in the 3rd round, and Luke Dodge at a 66 right tackle. Then the 5th round we drafted Brennan Conaway at linebacker at a 65, and then the 7th another linebacker, Anton Charleston at a 68. I feel like linebacker we were just kind of weak in depth, so I wanted to kind of focus on that during the draft. So now going into the 3rd year of this Broncos rebuild, here is what this offense is looking like, and it looks absolutely amazing. Bo Nix at quarterback up to an 81 with morale. Then we have Christian Judkins in the backfield with Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, and Rondell Moore. Audric Estimine is definitely going to get some playing time this season. That's my main focus because, you know, he hasn't really been playing too much. And then the signing of the offseason, the best player, Mark Andrews at tight end for a 5-year deal. We also added Zach Martin, who is a 94 in this offensive line. Looks amazing. Bo Nix and Judkins should be able to have a ton of time to run and throw the ball. And then on defense, we add Josiah Newton at a 79, Zach Allen at a 79 with X Factor, and then JFM we brought back at a 78. Corner, we have Patrick Surtain with Chris Abrams-Durain, Benjamin St. Juice, Jonathan Jones, and Nick McLeod. Then Brandon Jones at free safety at an 80. The linebacker we drafted in the first round, Mr. Joseph at a 74 overall with hidden dev. Terrell Bernard at a 79, Drew Sanders at an 81, Baron Browning at an 80, and then the safety we drafted last year, Winston at a 79. And this team is definitely should be in playoff contention, at least I think. You know, this offense should be as explosive as it can get. You know, I think this offense could be the best in the league if we actually put, you know, the team we have that's on paper, you know, on the field. I think that this team could be a top team in the NFL this year. There's only one way to find out. Let's see if the Denver Broncos can make the postseason. And what a year from the Broncos. We went 13-4 and we're making an appearance in the wild card round. I'm not sure how we're even playing in the first round if we won our division. And actually, we did not win the division. The Chiefs won 14-3. But if the Chiefs were not in this division, we could have easily won it without a doubt. We go 13-4 with the new and improved Broncos team, and we're taking on the Dolphins. And Bo Nix throws for 3.4k yards with 26 touchdowns and 12 interceptions with a 66% completion percentage. This is by far his best year yet in the 3 years we've had with the Broncos so far. Bo Nix is looking good. I'm happy to see it. Judkins on the ground has 207 attempts with 943 yards and 12 touchdowns. Bo Nix also runs for 300 yards and a touchdown. And finally, Audric Estime gets some touches with 241 for 57 attempts and 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Marvin Mims was only 50 away and 1 catch from a 100-1,000 season. He had 99 catches with 951 yards and 7 touchdowns. And then Troy Franklin with 65 catches, 911 yards and 6 touchdowns. Mark Andrews, not too good of a year, only 53 catches with 477 yards and 4 touchdowns. Christian Judkins, 36 catches, 280 yards and a touchdown. Overall, a great year from our receiving team. And the offensive line, other than Mike McGlinchey, did absolutely phenomenal. Zach Martin only allowing 4 sacks, Brian Cook allowing 3, Marvin Dickens only allowing 2, Quinn Mewers allowed 1. Not sure how Marvin Dickens even allowed 2 because he only played 157 snaps. And our defense looked great this year. JFM with 13.5 sacks, Baron Browning with 10, Zach Allen with 8.5, Drew Sanders with 3.5, and then Terrell Bernard with 3. Interception-wise, 7 interceptions for Drew Sanders. Drew Sanders with 104 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, and 7 interceptions. What a year from Drew Sanders. Oh my. Kevin Winston Jr. with 3 interceptions, Pat Surtain with 3, Baron Browning with 2, Terrell Bernard with 2, Chris Abrams-Drain with 2, Brandon Jones with 2, and then Benjamin St-Juste with 1. Our defense did absolutely phenomenal this year. Terrell Bernard led the team in tackles with 111. And Will Lutz, after having only a 73% kicking field goals from last year, he finishes it up with a 96% to end this year, going 26 for 27 and 63 punts this year for 3,000 yards. We do beat the Dolphins in the wildcard round with a final score of I don't know, because the score does not show for some reason. And now we are taking on the 10-7 Los Angeles Chargers at an 84 overall across the board. Let me know down in the comments below, do you guys think Bo Nix and the Broncos are going to get it done and potentially win a Super Bowl in only year number 3? You know, we're on a run. We beat San Francisco the last game, and then we beat the Dolphins in the wild card round. I really am hoping that we can beat them, and then we go take on, I'm hoping for the Chiefs. I want the Chiefs. I want the best there is. And then if we win the Super Bowl, we're going to hop into that game and we're going to see Bo Nix live. And I hoped for it and we got it. We beat the Chargers in the divisional. And now we're taking on the 89 overall Kansas City Chiefs. This should be an interesting one. This is going to be fun. Only question is, can we get it done? If we can beat Kansas City, I realistically think we can beat anyone in the NFL. If you look on the right side of your screen, the Denver Broncos punched their ticket to the Super Bowl. We beat the Chiefs 38-31, and we're on a run right now. We are on a mission, even though Pat Mahomes kind of carved up our defense with 339 yards and 4 touchdowns with a 75% completion percentage. I'm not worried. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're taking on Quinn Ewers and the New Orleans Saints. This should be a fun one. This is pretty much an even matchup, I'd say. You know, we're taking on an 84 overall team. We're an 84. They have an 85 offense, 83 defense. We have an 84 offense and 84 defense. It's going to come down to whoever can hold the rock better. What I'm going to do is go ahead and upgrade all our players to their max, because I did not do that yet this season. And I want to make sure we're at our top strength, because if we're at our top strength, I don't think we're beatable. But it's time to see if Bo Nix and the Broncos can get it done. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of a weird matchup. Broncos, Saints, and only 3 years into it. We're gonna start this game up 7-0, 14-0 now. Now it is 14-7. We're gonna go up 17-7, kind of coming close to halftime here. Can we hold on to this lead? We're up 24-7 now in the third quarter, 24-10, 30-10. It looks like we may close this out, 30-17. 30-24. Let's not blow the lead. Please do not blow this lead. Please. And the Broncos get it done. And Bo Nix and the Broncos are Super Bowl champions once again. The Broncos win their ring. And Bo Nix gets his first ring ever. First Super Bowl. And the Broncos get it done. Christian Judkins running over to the GOAT coach, Tyler Michael. We get it done in the Super Bowl. We beat the Saints by 6. I was kind of scared we were going to blow that lead, but we did not. Bo Nix and the Broncos are Super Bowl champions, and that is going to do it. And there is Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, about to hand the Super Bowl trophy off to the greatest coach in NFL history. We see Bo Nix back there hugging his friend. The Broncos get it done with 4 touchdowns from Bo Nix for 320 yards and 75% completion percentage. But that is going to do it. The greatest team to ever do it. Bo Nix, 87 overall. Judkins, 93. Marvin Mims, 87. Mark Andrews, 97. We got it done. We had a phenomenal offseason. I'm so happy we bid on that Mark Andrews contract and Zach Martin. I know Mark Andrews didn't do too much, but he definitely did some in the blocking game. We get it done here. That's what we do. We are Super Bowl champions, and the rebuild is complete in only 3 seasons. Bo Nix and the Broncos did it. I did it. The greatest coach of all time, Tyler Michael. We in the simulation had an 85 overall with an 85 offense and 87 defense. I want to say this was a fun one. This was probably the funnest video I've ever made. I haven't really done rebuilds like this. I think I'm going to start doing them because this is just, it's exciting. You know, I'm so happy we were able to get it done with the Broncos. In only 3 years is insane, but we get it done. We did it. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn those post notifications on if you never want to miss a video from the greatest Madden YouTuber of all time, Who Days. Until next time, it's Tyler signing off. I'll see ya.